So, welcome back to the Three Kings podcast.
It's been a while.
It's been a little while,
It's been a hot minute still.
but with the way things are kind of looking, it's really kind of the right time to bring this back. So, we have a few topics to speak on. We thought we'd just address a couple of things quickly. Maybe take 20 minutes of your time.
I think the good thing is, obviously, with the state of the world right now, there's a lot to speak about. But even before we get into that, we'll shout out thanks to everyone who's still supporting us as well. There's been a few drops, a few releases, and the love has been mad. And obviously, we've had a few requests to bring back this podcast. They're like, where the podcast at? Here it is.
We have to bring it back. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice if it was better circumstances for us to bring it back under. But with us wanting to talk about stuff that's real, stuff that matters to us, stuff that matters to other people, kind of makes sense that, we dive into a couple topics. But yeah, huge shout out to everyone who's supporting. Huge shout out to everyone who's supporting causes around the world right now as well, because there's big change and big things that need to happen and that are happening. So yeah, mad shouts to all of them people. Right, let's dive into. I mean, realistically, there's not only one thing, but there's a huge topic right now that's kind of on everyone's minds, kind of in the news. You can't really escape it. There was obviously a crazy tragedy that happened in America with the death of George Floyd. Huge rest in peace to that man. But in a way, it sparked a wave of events that are really fueled from not just that George Floyd incident, but all of the hundreds of incidents that have happened before. And there's clear need for change for civil injustice. So,
worldwide as well, you know what I'm saying, in every country.
One thing which I will say is I've been fortunate to see one of these protests in my hometown in England. Yeah. So, and something that's happened 100 miles away across the sea has made impact even here. And what I went to realise is that obviously people in Canterbury will show us love in that.
Always.
But the thing what made me really happy was that loads of people, even people that I live in my town, I know quite a few people, but there's people that I've never even seen before, all coming out united over one cause. And like I was saying to them, if anyone's taken anything from times like this where it could be hard, is to know that you're not alone. And there's people out there literally that will stand with you no matter what.
Yeah, so. and especially when it's something like this that affects, although it is an issue of race, at the end of the day, civil injustice is civil injustice. If everything's unbalanced, just because it's swinging well for you now doesn't mean that
it could not turn well for you later. Exactly.
I mean, that's why it involves so many people. And
that's what we're kind of seeing already right now, because even with the riots, the people, it's even though there's mad things happening, it's a good example of civil unity, why you need and why you need civil justice, because bro, I've just done this new music video, you sent me footage of just literally what feds are doing to people, bro. It's a madness, and man have been calling this out for years. No one's taking it seriously, but now everyone can see it.
It's because now it's getting scary for a lot of people. Before, if you weren't of that race, then you kind of didn't have to care.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't happening to you, so you could kind of leave it alone. And most of the time you probably didn't know because it's not happening to you. But now, because of the way races are integrated, now you're seeing people who have friends, have partners, who have relatives who are black or minorities. And now it's like, oh, wait, this is my uncle now. This isn't just somebody that you're talking about who's abstract. This is now somebody that is in my family who could be facing injustice completely different to my own, purely because of their race. Like, I see them as the same as me because they're my family, but now the world doesn't. So there's a lot of people who are now finally realising what
I think you touched on a good point yesterday when you were saying about, because of the social media now, you live in, everything can be shared in that, everything can be cancelled now, and we can out these people and find out who they are. And I was saying as well, I think they should start criminalising racism in a sense, innit? And make it like a criminal act in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Because we was breaking it down yesterday, if you're going to look at a religious side of things as well, racism is every single sin when you think about it. If you're depriving someone, you're committing gluttony, greed, jealousy upon them, innit? All of that, innit? So it's wrong in itself. I've never personally understood why it existed, and I don't know why that's still today. That's why we need to tackle it. That's why.
But the hard issue, obviously I'm going to, this isn't everyone's opinion. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. So also, when you listen to this, don't take anything that we say as fact. Just this is us speaking our minds on this. As everyone really should. Everyone should educate themselves and say what they think and use that to better your own opinion. Like, it doesn't mean that your opinion's right and what anyone else's is. We just collectively come up with what the best outcome is. But the problem with criminalising racism is criminalising anything never usually stops it. It makes it manageable. That's all criminalising does. It means that we now have a way to stop some people doing it, and it prevents a few people from doing it. But it doesn't stop people ever thinking a type of way. Like, thinking can't be policed.
Yeah, no, I get that. I fully get that.
And there's ways that are so insidious. And that's usually the problem is racism can be so insidious that it's not just about, did somebody beat me up or take my life because of my race? But did someone see that it's okay to make a joke about my race because I'm the minority here? Or did somebody see that it's okay to treat me in a specific way because of my race? Whether it's because I'm a white person in a black area or whether it's a black person in a white area, did somebody use my race as a reason to treat me differently? And that's hard to criminalize because it's in people's minds. So that's why education and actually training that out of people, it takes generations, it takes many generations to train it out. But
what I'm trying to say is, obviously, you think about people that publicly like stand by racist things, post racist things, and
those people,
rallies and stuff like that. What I'm saying is, like, obviously, yeah, we've got freedom of speech and all that, but there shouldn't be freedom of hate speech in my eyes, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you ain't talking positive, why are you talking in it? So that's what I meant. Like, if they could like just end it like that, like if there's any like, I don't know, like race group or like anti-Semitic or whatever, like people like spreading like hate.
I hear what you're saying, because
in rallies, it shouldn't be allowed, innit?
That hate speaking ends up normally in action. So if you can stop the beginning,
that's what I'm saying. If you can cut the neck in a sense, innit? Do you know what I mean?
The only difficult part of that is that these people,
they'll find a way.
They see themselves everyone. The hard thing about being a human is most of the time you think you're right, and and everyone thinks that they're right all the time. So you have these people who, even if you criminalized it, they would martyr themselves and be like, yeah, I'm in prison because of what I believe, but I still think I'm right. And people have died for their beliefs before, and I'll die for my belief. It don't stop them believing it. Like, that's the hard part, because that's what solves it on a global level. You can corral it in towns and be like, right, our town is racist free because we locked up all our racists. That's fine, but does that mean that they haven't told their kids what to believe? Does that mean that their kids don't treat people differently? Does that mean that when they're let out of prison that they're now like, okay, I'm not racist anymore? Probably not. It just means that they've paid society what society's deemed as a good enough punishment for what they've done. I mean, has never really been proven to work for anything.
What do you think about Trump saying we need to dominate the streets? Absolutely.
I think he should have held up his little finger while he said it, because man sounded like an absolute villain. Like, no one... No, he might as well have been spun around in a chair with a cat, because he just sounded like an absolute,
like a gangster fan.
Dominate like the streets. They're your own streets and with your own people, and you're talking about domination.
He's mad.
It just shows that there is a separation. There's no we, there's us and them, isn't it? Really.
And whichever we he's putting himself in as a category is a dangerous category for anyone else to be in, because either he's talking white versus black, or he's talking rich versus poor, or he's talking people who
are just pure authority, like dictatorship.
Yeah, people who are for injustice and
power against the people. That's what he's talking about. Power.
Either way, it's a dangerous.
It shouldn't be saying that anyway. No.
Dictatorship movement.
Because if you're talking about power versus the people,
then it's
now you're just asking.
Now you're talking about civil war.
Almost talking as if you're
now, by the way, on YouTube, innit? Can we about civil war? No.
It's mad. It's mad.
Yeah. Hopefully, there can be a positive outcome to all of this, and it can be eradicated. But I mean, like we were discussing yesterday, once that's if that does get eradicated, what's next, isn't it? There's a lot of other problems with the system that we live in that need to be fixed, isn't it?
Like systemically, like we were saying, even if George Floyd gets the justice that he deserves as a person, which is the first and foremost on most people's minds right now, which is great that people are accomplishing that in incriminating the people who killed him.
Yeah.
Murdered him. Let's get it right. Even if he gets the justice, which is what he deserves, it doesn't overturn the entrenched systemic injustice that happens in the Western world, and not even just the Western world, throughout the world. That is asking the people with the keys, the people who can do something, you have to change their minds, not just all of us. Like, it's fine even if all of us care, that's fantastic. But
I think that's I think it was you saying it, because even the saddest thing about me, even with the beautiful thing I saw with the unity, is that the people kind of always stand together, but it's not their minds you really need to change, it's the ones in power. So we can protest all we want, But really and truly, you even let's say with the protests and everything that's happening, you think Trump would be like,
he has more
he would be
reason.
sympathetic for people. He just said,
He thinks he's justified
but this, but what? I don't care what it's about. This is happening. Dominate the streets. So now, if we can't change those people's minds, got a long way. But also, one positive note, because we've been researching a lot about this stuff. But there's a lot of American people right now, even senators, even people in Trump's party have gone and said, bruv, I'm gonna have to wash my hands from now because now this is just too much, bruv. We're holding the Bible and that,
or releasing an army onto your own
pushing
streets.
people for oppress you, bruv.
It's mental that somebody could behave like that, but it's the right kind of time for something to change, because those people in power, like you're saying, those are the minds that need to be changed. And either that is the current minds to be changed, which is hard because someone like Trump thinks that he's right at the end of the day, and he will continue to fight for his beliefs, like we are fighting for our beliefs.
That's very true still.
So they have to, it means that those beliefs have to be the things that are changed. So you need to change generationally the beliefs of those people so they fight for the right beliefs. Because he's fighting for what he believes is right, what he was taught, what he's learnt to be right. Whether it's wrong in everyone else's eyes, he still thinks it's right. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. Like he wouldn't do it. He thinks that what he's doing, everyone will hate me now, but you'll thank me later. That's what he believes he's doing, and because he's ignorant, it's hard to tell somebody who thinks that way not to, because he's very ignorant, and it's worked for him as far as being one of the biggest, the face of capitalism, realistically.
Sure.
Like, never has a president been that big of a businessman as well. I think that is pretty much the face of capitalism as far as in the West goes. You're the leader of the free world, as they call it, the biggest country in the world, and you're a multi-billionaire as well on top of this. That's as far as somebody who's trying to be like world domination.
He can literally do what he wants. Then he's obviously going to do what he wants. He'll do what he wants. Anyway.
Tell him, go and tell him, go and tell him that he's wrong. Then it's really hard. That's where we are right now, because you can't. What are you going to tell him?
You can't tell him nothing. Why should he even listen to you, bro?
That's how he views it.
He's in a very comfortable position, bro. He's like, what do you mean you want change? Bro,
you want me to give this up?
I do mean what you want this not to change. Yeah, like,
yeah, exactly.
Send the bloody Secret Service in.
Exactly.
Shut
these
people
out the streets.
That's what he's doing. Clean them out streets. What do you mean?
That's why that whole systemic that's why that whole systemic thing has to kind of go, because you have, like, those people have to be believing the right, well, I say the right things, at least in equality, for them to fight for equality. Donald Trump won't fight for equality if he doesn't believe in it.
I think that'd be, like you said, very hard to do, because these guys are power hungry.
Yeah,
these guys like that. They almost get off on the fact that that they are
people are marching
to
get an answer from him, so he might feel that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it can't be a thing where you ask him nicely. That's not ever going to be. It's not ever going to be.
He's just going to glorify him.
It either has to.
Even if he gives you what you want, he can never hold injustice like, I did this for you.
Yeah. You heard what he said. Did you hear what he said?
What he said?
His latest statement was, "No one has done for the black community what President Trump has done." That's what he said out of his own mouth. Like, and bear in mind, he said for the black community, not the American black community, not like in this time.
What has he done though?
Bear in mind, he's stepping on the Martin Luthers and the Malcolm X's and
that's disrespectful. And people have died.
Let's go back to the people who led the black slave trade.
Bro, people have died, given their lives for this shit, and he's saying that. That's mad. But their own, like, fam, Lincoln himself gave his life for this shit.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And he frees, fam, he abolished slavery, so I don't know how you can, come on. He said dominate streets. Abolish your slavery, dominate the streets. And now apparently you done more. Come on.
He said he's done the most for the black community. Not even just a few, not even the people in his country, just all black people. And that, if you think that as him, now tell him that he's not done enough then. If he just said that he's done the most,
he's willing to fight you still. He's willing to fight you. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean I haven't done nothing? What do you mean? Look at them in the streets.
I do that. So, I mean, it's yeah. But as much as we can, this is why it's just important to affect the people in your circle and affect the people that you can with education, with all of us, like, learning. And it's about learning about struggles, not just about the black struggle or the white struggle or the Asian struggle, like all of these struggles, because there's been a lot around the world. There's been a lot of people who've been colonized and oppressed in all kinds of nations around the world, understanding it is half of the path to not repeating it. If you constantly think, that was 100 years ago, who cares, then it's bound to repeat itself. If you educate yourself about those things that happened and go, fuck, that is pretty bad, I hope that doesn't happen again, chances are it's harder for it to happen again. But
you're right. I think it's a big time for world change, isn't it? I mean, it's been a crazy year as it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? There's been a lot of changes to normal life and that, but I think it is time for a big change in the way, do you know, the way the system is, isn't it? It's broken, everyone knows it.
It's crazy to even think that we're talking about this after coronavirus has happened, which is another absolute madness.
Yeah. It's going to have to be another conversation.
That's what I'm saying. That's a whole other podcast in itself, but I mean...
The numbers are like 40,000 dead in the UK, were the second highest numbers of casualties after America. And we failed to text us 3 times. So this little thing, the more deaths, then
it's because second after the independent spirit that we have in these countries. Like, you can't tell me what to do.
You can't.
What causes these things. But at least, I mean, we've discussed a few points about it. Obviously, it's just good if everyone discusses, everyone keep talking, keep it as a conversation, because then it doesn't go away. If everyone just rolls over it, this stuff just goes away, but it needs to stay in everyone's minds, it needs to stay in everyone's mouths, it needs to be talking about this kind of stuff, because this thing is relevant, it doesn't become irrelevant, because all that will happen is it will happen again, and then we'll be talking about it and going, oh, I thought everything changed. No, we need to keep this alive now while it's running and while it has some head behind it, because it's about time everything changed.
I think change is coming still.
For real. But yeah, everyone needs to keep yourself safe. Obviously, coronavirus is just kind of easing down now. Everyone's getting out of lockdown, so visit your people, visit the ones that you care about. Keep these conversations in mind. Keep discussing it with them as well. Like, bring it to people's minds, because some people don't think about these kind of things and just want to carry on with life the way it is. So bring it to people's minds. Keep talking. Be with your people. Be as safe as you can as well. Trust me, because things are getting a bit mad. So.
Well, stay strong and stay blessed, man. Obviously, we'll keep patterning this. We've got a lot of work coming.
Yeah, keep looking out for music. Keep looking out for messages as well. Yeah. We'll be putting together different kinds of just information, just things from different people. So keep listening, keep watching. We'll be here.
Indeed.
Always. 3 Kings. Over and out.